All right, everyone. Welcome to week 9, Unit 6. Okay, so Unit 6 is weeks 9 and 10. You have 2 weeks to complete this one, and there's really not a lot of extra reading or anything. This is mostly to work on your PPA for your project. So this is really PPA lesson. So the first week you have a quiz. There's a really short reading here, by the way. And just make sure you click on this link. There's a one-page document from NRG. It's just to read about power purchase agreements and some of the details. And then there's we're going to learn goal seek if you haven't used this before. This is really easy. And then we're also going to do some sensitivity analysis. So this is a review, but there's the video from NRG 250, and then I provide a little supplemental video here, which I think might help round things out a little bit. Okay, so that's a review. Goal seek is really easy. All right, so then you have a quiz on the PPA. That's based on the reading, basically, just so you understand what goes into a PPA and some of the basic key aspects of the PPA. And then your homework is to, let me bring up the spreadsheet. So basically you are going to analyze this cash flow. Okay, so this is a cash flow, nothing out of the ordinary here, right? We have a bunch of assumptions. What is a little unusual is that you're going to do this cash flow, or you're going to analyze or look at this cash flow from two perspectives in 3 different ways. Okay, so we have two parties that you're considering. You have the homeowner who is entering into the PPA from the homeowner side, or considering it, and then the firm. Okay, so the one issuing the PPA. So you have to look at it from those two perspectives. That's point number 1. Ultimately, what you're trying to figure out is this. Okay, so what is the price point for a PPA? So what would you charge per kilowatt hour in order to break even after getting your 30% profit? Okay, so again, what is the break-even PPA price for 20 years, unchanging for 20 years? That would give the firm a net present value of 0, including this 30% profit. Okay, so obviously you don't want a net present value of 0. You need to make money from the firm's perspective. So the point of this is not to say that this is what you would charge for a PPA. What it is saying is, not what it is saying, what it helps you do is think through the considerations of a PPA, and then you can start tweaking some of the different elements of this to make it acceptable for both parties. So the idea here is just to think through all the considerations in a PPA. Okay, so you have to understand all these discount rates and cost escalation and all that sort of thing. Okay, so that's really the point here. And so what you need to do is, number 1 is insert all of your cost escalation rates. So make sure you do that. Okay, and then you need to calculate the net present value from the owner's perspective. Now this is really easy because the cash flow is already done for you. All right, so this is in constant dollars, as you can see. And you just need to convert that to present value. Easy enough. Okay, so this is as if the homeowner was paying out of pocket upfront. Okay, then you're doing the same thing, but the owner entering into a PPA. So the same thing, you just fill out this column. So that part's really easy. This is the one you're going to think really carefully about. So now you need to fill in all of these. Okay, so this is from the firm. Okay, so the firm is the company. So you need to figure out what the cash flow is for the firm in constant dollars here. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could do current dollars. That's fine. Just make sure you indicate that here. And then convert that to present value. All right. So just think carefully about the cash flows, which are current, which are constant, positive, negative, and so forth. keeping in mind that the firm does, they do get the SREX from their side, because remember the homeowner does not own the SREX. Another important consideration is discount rate. We have talked about this in various capacities in NRG 250 at least, and it was mentioned a little bit in this class. And that is, the firm can and often does have a higher discount rate than you might expect. So in this case, the firm, just be really careful, the firm's discount rate's 10%. Okay, here's the homeowner discount rate, it's 4%. And all the other stuff here. So that's the only thing that's really a little unusual. The profit margin is 30%, but that's already included in this upfront price. So I want you to think about how that works and how you can sort of tweak that moving forward. Okay, so really you just need to think about the first 20 years of the PPA from the firm's perspective. So the main thing is just be careful about current and constant dollars. Okay, and then you fill in the net present value for each scenario here, and then you do a goal seek to find the PPA price, okay, which would be this price that makes the firm's net present value 0, okay, under this last scenario. And that part is quite easy. All right, so that's what you're going to do first, and then the second part, you're going to do the sensitivity analysis and just play around with the PPA price, okay, a little bit, just to see how that changes your net present value for the firm. Okay, and this is a review, so I'm not going to go over that. And then I want you to do your own what-if analysis on just a couple of variables, do 1 or 2 scenarios, just something you think might be interesting just to see. And you need to do at least 1 2 variable what-if analysis. In other words, the what-if analysis where you have the column and you have the row. And then you end up with a matrix of values. Okay, so do at least 1 of those. So I would say do one of each would be fine. Do a single variable and then a double variable. That's okay. And then just explain why you did it, what you found out, is there anything interesting, and so forth. So the idea here, again, is just for you to start thinking about all these different parameters so you can then perform your PPA analysis for your task. Okay? So that's the homework. That's due on Sunday. And then you have task 5, which you have until the following Thursday to do. Now keep in mind, this is extensive. All right? This is rather extensive, because you have to do all these different scenarios, right? So remember, it's task 5, which is here. So first you're going to do updating your own task 4 that you already did in Delaware, including all the available incentives, okay? And so you're looking at as if you're financing the upfront cost of the system, okay? And you get a loan, and then you do, what you would charge, what we would like to charge the customer in a PPA, and you're going to do this from the firm's perspective, so figure out the subsidies you would get and so forth. All right, and I'll give you some of your assumptions here. Including all of the scenarios you did in your previous assignment. Okay, so again, the system's not going to change. Your cash flow is not going to look very different at all. It's just the subsidies that are changing from state to state, possibly changing. I don't know. Depends on the state. Okay, so it sounds like it might be a lot, but you just have to think carefully about the subsidies that that are available in each state. So do a little research and see if you can figure that part out. But otherwise, just keep everything the same in each state. Okay, and then you're going to perform sensitivity analysis, but just on number 2, which is your own, like the actual location of the place. Okay? So you're going to do all of these different sensitivity analyses. Okay? So that is task 5. So it's long. So don't put that off. All right, so that's the next 2 weeks of your life, at least in this class. I know you have a lot else going on, so hopefully it all makes sense. And that going to lead you into your next couple of tasks, and you're getting really close. So if, of course, you have any questions about any of this, let me know. But hope you have a great week.